Thank you for checking out Lakehead International's videos. You're about to watch one of our Lakehead International live webinars, a fun and informative way to learn more about Lakehead while also meeting faculty, staff, and current students. If you have any questions throughout today's video, please comment below. Otherwise, let's get started.
I'd like to kick things off by introducing Lakehead University and setting the stage for who we are and why we're so proud of our institution. For those of you who don't know, Lakehead University is a public university located in Canada. More specifically, we're located in the province of Ontario, and we are an accredited Ontario public university with two campuses, one in Thunder Bay and one in Orillia. I'll dive into that a bit further on a later slide. But to set the stage, like I said, why we're so proud of our institution is certainly our rankings. As a smaller institution with under 10,000 students, we still pack a punch in terms of where we land on those rankings. So here in Canada, we are considered in the top 3 in research for our institution of our size in the undergraduate category. We're also recognized as the #1 university in North America under 10,000 students by Times Higher Education Global Impact Rankings. And also in Canada, there's a ranking by Maclean's magazine that consistently places Lakehead University in Canada's top 10. Things that we're really proud of and that we offer here include small classroom sizes, which also is powered by our student-faculty ratio, where on our Thunder Bay campus, for every 15 students, there's 1 professor, and on our Orillia campus, 13:1 is the ratio. Those students join us from over 80 nations around the world, which is really incredible to see that diversity here on our small campus. And with that being said, when students are wrapping up their Lakehead University degree and walking across that stage, holding their degree high in the air and celebrating, they're also then moving right into careers and moving into careers at a really high employment rate. So 97.4% of our students are actually employed within 2 years upon graduation, which is above the Ontario average of 95.1. Sharing a bit more details, like I said, Lakehead is just over 9,000 students here, over 1,900 international students, and we're really proud of our alumni, which is over 70,000, and they're currently from 108 countries around the world. As I noted, we are in Canada, but to help guide you in your journey to decide where am I going to study one day, of course, you need to decide which country is going to be best for you in our big old world. So Canada is certainly a strong option for you. We are ranked as one of the top 2 best countries in the world, and we're also considered a very peaceful country, being in the top 11 most peaceful countries in the world. Another reason, though, to choose Canada speaks a bit more to things that we've done as a country. So we've embraced multiculturalism from day one, essentially. We were the first country in the entire world to adopt multiculturalism as an official policy. We also, of course, have over 1 million international students already studying with us here in Canada. So if you're saying to yourself, well, I don't know if Canada is right for me, what if it's new? What if it's scary? It could certainly be those things, but it's exciting too. And you can feel excited about the fact that over 1 million students have already done that journey and are already pursuing the highly coveted and worldwide recognized Canadian university degree. Another reason why students consistently choose Canada is because at the same time they're choosing employment. Before they graduate even, they're eligible to work while they study for a maximum of up to 24 hours per week as of the fall 2024. After graduation, all of Lakehead's programs lead to the eligibility to be considered for the maximum length of a postgraduate work permit of 3 years. And then, of course, permanent residency. If you fall in love with Canada, which I'm sure you may, and you would like to stay and perhaps set up your new life here in Canada, by getting a Canadian university degree, you're actually receiving extra points towards that permanent residency application. More specifically, you may be thinking, okay, I've decided on Canada now, but where do I go from there? And that's, of course, the province of Ontario. That's where we call home. It is the #1 destination for international students here in Canada, and they choose it for several reasons. #1 are public universities, that being Lakehead University and universities like Waterloo, U of T, Queen's. All of our public universities in Ontario are accredited through rigorous quality assurances by the Ontario Ministry of Advanced Education and Skills Development. So you can ensure that your Lakehead degree or any public degree here in Ontario is of the highest quality. We also offer competitive tuition rates when you compare ourselves to countries like Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, United States. Those are just to name a few. And also, like I said, employment rate is a big factor for our grads and our students, making sure that they're going to get out of university and be able to get a great job. Ontario University graduates have the highest employment rate in Canada at 95.1. Like I said, though, Lakehead University is even just above that. So we're certainly proud of that as an institution. Diving a bit deeper in Ontario, you'll see our two campuses are located in Thunder Bay and Orillia. Thunder Bay is just a short flight from Toronto, 90 minutes, and Orillia is just a short drive, 90 minutes from that city center. So wherever you are at Lakehead, you're just 90 minutes from Toronto, which I'm sure most people on today's webinar are most familiar with Toronto, whether it be the CN Tower, the Blue Jays, the Toronto Maple Leafs, you name it. I'm sure you've probably heard of it because of Toronto. But we are quite proud of our hometowns. They're a bit smaller. They're certainly friendly. They're also safe hometowns. And most importantly, they're inexpensive. Being an inexpensive hometown is important because it makes affordable education here in Canada, and that's why we love to call it home. Reminding our viewers that, as I noted, our global community still stretches beyond Canada, though. So we have students and faculty from around the world. As I noted, 80 plus nations represented in just our student body. And so that's something we're certainly proud of as an institution as well. Going a bit further and exploring our hometowns, my hometown of Thunder Bay is something I love to talk about because I love it here. Our population center is over 120,000 individuals. We have four major airlines servicing us on a regular basis. We have over 305 days of sunshine per year, which is, in terms of sunshine, quite a lot. And we're also home to one of Canada's seven wonders, the sleeping giant. You can see some photos on the right-hand side of your screen, which just give you an idea of the activities, the events and culture, the rich entertainment that you'll be able to access while living here in Thunder Bay. Beyond that, though, we also have over 200 restaurants with foods from around the world. We have 50 annual city festivals and events that you can participate in, and over 100 parks and recreation areas that you may wish to explore, especially if you're an outdoorsy person. Perhaps you're not, and that's okay too, but there's certainly plenty to do here. Going into Thunder Bay, at the heart of our city is actually our Thunder Bay campus, where we have over 6,000 individuals pursuing a wide range of programming, a vast majority of graduate degrees. As I noted earlier, a 15-to-1 student-faculty ratio, and we actually have a lake and a river running right through campus, which makes it really tranquil and peaceful and a great space and area to study in. You can also see some more photos on the right-hand side of your screen, which just gives you a preview of what our campus looks like here in Thunder Bay. You can also explore further online on our website at lakeheadu.ca/tours. Shifting gears and chatting about our other hometown in Orillia, this is also a special place to me. I love it here. It's somewhere that I get to travel to with work, and I love going. They have a smaller population of just over 30,000 individuals, but they're 90 minutes from Toronto, which makes it convenient for those students that still want to get to have that big city experience a bit closer to their home, while, of course, accessing an affordable hometown. They have over 30 annual festivals and events, and we like to call Orillia the gateway to Lake Country. So all of those people that live in Toronto and the greater Toronto area, they actually come through Orillia, and it is the gateway to Lake Country. This is where they come and spend their free time, their weekends. They're escaping the big city for Orillia, and we get to call that home each and every day, which is really exciting. We also have over 100 restaurants in Orillia and plenty of recreational opportunities, including 200 plus kilometers of walking and biking trails. And you can see some of those recreational opportunities like biking, snowshoeing, kayaking in our hometown on those photos on the right-hand side. Located on the west side of Orillia is our Orillia campus, and we have over 2,000 individuals here on the Orillia campus. So if you like that smaller university feeling with access to incredible programming, this is certainly the campus for you. A 13-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. And as an interesting talking point, our campus is fairly new. And so when we built this campus, we actually were environmentally conscious, and we built it and designed it to be certified LEED Platinum, which is one of the highest rankings you can get. And once again, you can see photos of campus on the right-hand side. But if you would like to explore further, you can do so by visiting lakeheadu.ca/tours. I think, though, what you've joined us here today is to learn more about academics at Lakehead. And of course, that's what's drawing you to Canada is that degree and the programs of study that we offer. So we offer a wide range of areas of study. I won't list them off for you. You have an opportunity to read them yourself. But like I noted, it is a fully comprehensive university, all the way from business to science to law. And we even have a medical school right here on the Thunder Bay campus. Taking a peek at those undergraduate programs, so those students that are joining us from a high school perhaps and considering their first bachelor's degree, or maybe even a student that now is ready to come back and start their second undergraduate bachelor's degree. Here's our program options. I do go on to list a few of those majors within business and engineering to give you a taste of that. Beyond this, though, you can explore further and explore concentrations, minors, majors, specializations, and so much more. I also want to take note of the cooperative education offered in select number of programs. That's where it is a formalized work experience built right into your program. Shifting gears to our graduate programs, you can see our master's and doctoral programs. So once again, those students that already have a bachelor's degree or maybe at the doctoral level have a master's degree and want to continue their education here in Canada, you are more than welcome to do that with us here at Lakehead using your credentials from around the world. Also, to our undergrad viewers, maybe you're already thinking ahead, you want to do higher education beyond your undergrad. Well, good news is you most likely can continue that same stream of studies or that same area of study at a higher level here with us at Lakehead. So you'll start to build those foundational relationships where you get to know your professors a little more intimately in our programs, and then you can pursue higher education with them, which is really incredible. Of course, we have enriching your education is an important experience or aspect of your Lakehead University experience. So with that being said, I want to chat a bit about cooperative education. I'll dive into it a bit further, but it is a paid co-op work experience where it's built into your program and formally recognized on your degree. But we also go beyond that and we offer internships in select programs. We have practicums, placements, and field schools. So for example, Natural Resources Management has their annual field school right before the fall semester where students are going out into the boreal forest here in Thunder Bay. They're going elsewhere in Canada even, and even beyond that into the global environments and exploring natural resources management in a different light. We also, of course, have plenty of research opportunities. And as an undergraduate student, you could also participate in undergrad research. It's not reserved for our higher education students that are pursuing a graduate level studies program. Community engagement is important to our institution. Of course, we are the only universities in our hometown communities. And so we are very fortunate to build strong community relationships and build that engagement with our partners across our hometowns. And last but not least, I know you're probably shocked to even hear this, but you've come all the way to Canada. You can take that Canadian degree and you can go for a semester, 2 semesters, or even a short term and go beyond. Go back home, go to a different country with an international exchange and other opportunities, which you can certainly learn more about when you become a student here at Lakehead. Coming back to the idea of cooperative education, where again, it's that paid work experience where you can be working between 4 to 16 months as a part of your program of study. You can earn up to $40 Canadian per hour. You can join one of 140 national and international partners. And to give you an idea of who we partner with or where our students have gone in the past, here's just a small sampling of those. So you can see technology companies like IBM and Bell and Amazon, financial institutions like HSBC, Royal Bank, construction and manufacturing companies like Honda, Bombardier, Siemens, and local companies within the healthcare system like St. Joseph's Care Group or Thunder Bay Regional Health Sciences Center. The list goes on, and we also know that students don't necessarily just stick with what is the norm. They explore options. They work with employers around the world to find a perfect co-op for them. And that's something that we are happy to support through our career services and co-op team. A part of your Lakehead experience will also be student experience and the student life, which is an important and very rich aspect to why you're choosing to come to Canada, perhaps. So student life, we have clubs and associations and societies galore. You can join one of over 50 on our campuses. You can also enhance your leadership and skills through development opportunities like our Global Ambassador Program. And you can also continue to celebrate different celebrations from back home, cultural festivals. You can join us in our student lounge or even participate in one of hundreds of events hosted by Lakehead International each year. Beyond student life and clubs and getting involved, another thing to do while on campus is, of course, staying active. And the recreational opportunities in our hometowns are second to none. The recreational opportunities, as we say, are unparalleled because they're right at the doorstep, whether the back door or the front door here at Lakehead, it surrounds us. So you can get outside and enjoy some fresh air and really get to enjoy nature. If you'd like to do it more formally, we also have an athletics department where we have varsity teams, which is for elite athletes that have been pursuing and practicing and honing their skills around a sport for many, many years. Maybe your passion, you could be somebody who is also, maybe participated in a team sport, but you aren't necessarily looking to compete among other institutions here in Canada or the States. That could be a club team for you. It may require tryouts, but typically it is for everyone, varying on skill level. If competing in sports is not for you, but you want to be in something organized, we also have something called intramurals here at Lakehead, where anyone can join these sports. This is a list of some of the recent sports that we've had on our campuses, but of course, these options will vary by each season based on student interests. So you may also come to Lakehead and bring your own ideas. Not listed here, but I always like to remind students, especially looking to the photo at the top right, we do actually have a cricket team. And here in Thunder Bay, our Lakehead University cricket team competes against the college in Thunder Bay. And oftentimes that is quite exciting to see those students have that small little rivalry. Friendly competition never hurt nobody. But in this case, it's always exciting to see students from around the world bringing their passions to our campuses. Beyond getting involved in student life, we also want to talk about student sports, which is an important piece to your decision of where to study and making sure that you'll have something reliable when you reach Canada. So we are considered in the top 5 in Ontario for student services. And we're really proud of course, first and foremost, our international student services team, which is Lakehead International. We offer free airport pickup for new students. We offer a new student orientation when you first arrive that's going to help guide you in those first few weeks arriving in Canada. We also have a peer mentoring service where upper year Lakehead students that have been here for a number of years are helping guide and sort of hold the hand of those new students to make sure that they transition to Canada and have a smooth settlement here. With that being said, our staff themselves, they also offer international student advising, they offer immigration advising, and they're often running excursions which will help you explore our campuses and communities. Your supports go beyond that, though, and so broader to Lakehead International, across all of campus, we have academic supports, pardon me, health and wellness, and more supports. So I won't read these for you. They're on the screen so that you can take a moment to explore, read further. I will call out, of course, some of the tutoring programs, math assistance, writing, coaching, the library, the medical clinic on the Thunder Bay campus, the personal support counseling if you're having a tough time or you just need someone to talk to. And we also have other support services like 24-hour security, 365 days a year. While you're studying at Lakehead, you also may be looking to, of course, live on campus. Deciding where you're going to live while here in Canada is an important factor of your decision. And so living on campus is essentially one of the home away from home opportunities. There's plenty of benefits to living on campus, and I can expand at great length, but I won't bore you with the details. Essentially, we want to remind you living on campus, it's convenient, it's close. Whether you have to wake up and roll out of bed and walk to class, you're there within a few minutes typically. But also, more importantly, outside of that convenience is the fact that we help facilitate building lifelong connections and friendships. You also will have access to unique leadership and job opportunities right within the residence community. You'll be able to access flexible meal plans that cater to your appetite and cater to your dietary needs. And of course, these on-campus accommodations are safe and secure so that you have peace of mind and perhaps your parents have peace of mind as well. Eating on campus, as I noted, is a big consideration for many students, as it should be. So I want to remind our viewers there is a variety of options, whether it's vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free, halal. There are dietary restrictions of all sorts, and we want to meet you where you need to be. And so we'll even sit down with you to discuss that further when you arrive on campus. You can anticipate exploring both Canadian but also cultural cuisines that will be to your liking. And even if you have a recipe back home, bring that recipe with you, and our dining team will actually sit down with you and take suggestions. And on our campuses, right here, we have local and international brands, which will help you satisfy and nourish the body. Eating off campus is one of my favorite things to do. I am a foodie, so I am often exploring Thunder Bay and Orillia and trying new restaurants. As I noted before, we have over 100 restaurants in each of our hometowns featuring foods from around the world. Oftentimes, you'll take a Friday night and perhaps go out for dinner with your new friends, or maybe you're going out for your birthday to celebrate. And this is the one time you're going to treat yourself. I certainly would encourage students to try as many restaurants as they can because it adds to your experience of your new hometown. Getting into a bit more of a serious topic, of course, budgeting for university is really important as you consider whether or not joining us here at Lakehead and coming to Canada is feasible. So taking a peek at the fees and finances associated with studying at Lakehead, on the left-hand side, we have our undergraduate programs, which refers to an 8-month study period. On the right-hand side, we have our consecutive or concurrent studies. That's 12 months for graduate students. Ranging from tuition, we have our low end of 23,000 up to 39,000 for some of our programs. Ancillary fees also vary by program and level of study. Books are an estimation, so we have noted here $1,000 to $2,000 Canadian. With that being said, it will range. How many books do you need to purchase? Can you buy old books? Can you buy used books? Does it need to be a digital book? Could you buy a soft cover, a hardcover? There's so many different options with books that can certainly help change that cost overall. And something I always encourage you to work closely with your professor on to determine where you can find perhaps savings. On-campus room and food or on-campus room only also will play a factor as to how much you'll be spending to live here in Canada. Your UHIP, your university health insurance, is a mandatory aspect to make sure that you'll be able to access healthcare services while you're living abroad. And personal expenses is an estimate, of course, based on what we feel after polling international students here at Lakehead, how much they might spend in any given year or semester on personal items like entertainment, care services, all that sort of stuff. One good thing to come from this, though, of course, is we recognize that it's an investment in your future, and we want to help support that future. And Lakehead is recognized as #1 in Ontario for student awards. And so we have one of the top scholarship programs for undergraduate students here in Canada. I'll chat a bit about that, and this is one of my favorite slides because this is exciting. This is where we get to give away money. For those students that are joining us out of high school or transferring from a college or university, you're eligible for our automatic entrance scholarship. So there's no additional application necessary. If you have a Canadian average of between 75 to 79.9 or an IB average of 28 to 29, your scholarship value is $6,000 Canadian. That's eligible to you in year one only. If you move up to the next step, if you're 80 to 89.9 or 30 to 34 on the IB scale, you're actually eligible for something called a renewable scholarship, which is 7,500 in your first year. But if you maintain that average over 4 years, you're getting $30,000 Canadian. And for those top academic achievers, of course, 90% and over or 35 plus on the IB scale, you're going to get $10,000 in year one, and you're eligible to renew that in years 2, 3, and 4 for up to $40,000 Canadian. The note here, though, is to those students, of course, you're thinking to yourself, well, I can really carve out some time and push myself to get that 90% or over in my first year. But what happens for those students that have a 90% or over in their first year and get that $20,000, but then maybe in second year it's a bit more challenging and you fall below to an 85, for example, anything above an 80, you'll actually drop down to the next tier, which is still $7,500. So that is the movement within the chart. There's no climbing it and there's no rejoining it. However, for those top academic achievers at 90% or over, if you do fall below that 90% in any one of your years, if you've maintained the scholarship, you'll drop below to the next grid, which is 80% or above, and you'd be eligible for 7,500. For those students that are joining us for graduate studies, the master's programs, the doctoral programs, there is limited funding opportunities available. Graduate assistantships, which is an employment contract between Lakehead University or your academic unit and you, it's awarded at the time of admission to a very limited number of thesis and research-based applicants. So a vast majority of our international students and students for that matter in general pursuing a graduate program at Lakehead do not have funding available to them. We are looking for students that are able to finance their own education, whether it be through sponsorship, saving, loans, whatever it might be. A vast majority of our students, unfortunately, do not receive funding. And if you are invited to receive funding, you'll be notified at the time of your admission to Lakehead. We also have limited faculty research scholarships where, again, thesis and research students may be eligible for grants or contracts through their academic department, but that sort of stuff is communicated directly with the applicant or the student at the time that they are being admitted to Lakehead. Another way to finance your education, though, and like I noted, coming back to why students choose Canada, is working while you study. So we do offer a wide range of career planning services. We have career advising, resume writing, interview prep, skill development, and we do have an exclusive job bank even here at Lakehead University. But beyond that, we bring employers on campus. We have job and employment fairs. This photo on your right is actually one of our career fairs where students are able to talk to employers in the region and hopefully secure full-time employment upon graduation. Just this past week, we also were able to host a part-time job fair where employers in our regions were able to come onto campus and look for employees that are going to come during or in between their school hours for a few hours each week. Our minimum wage in Ontario is going up to $17.20 this fall 2024, so you can be earning up to $17.20 or a minimum of $17.20 per hour going forward. And next, I want to chat a bit about applying to Lakehead. So this is an important conversation when you're ready to make the next step and solidify your commitment to Lakehead University. Enrolling is an important aspect. So number one, you're going to apply online. Applying online is fairly straightforward. All you have to do is visit lakeheadu.ca/apply-now. And that's going to bring you right to our landing page where you have the resources, you have the information, and more importantly, you have the links to access our online applications. Before you do that, I would encourage you to understand what our admission requirements are and understand what our English language proficiency requirements are. Once you understand them, you know how you can then meet them. Meeting them will be at the very end when it's time to actually start your program here at Lakehead. Or, of course, if you meet them early enough, you'll receive that offer and you will not have any conditions on that offer. You will also be required to submit your documents as a part of your application at Lakehead or enrolling at Lakehead. So those are just a few of the things that you need to do to enroll at Lakehead. We have, of course, online resources and we have staff members available to guide you in the process. You can also check out some of my other webinars where I host application and admissions webinars specific to guiding you in the process. As we come to a close on today's webinar, and before we dive into our live question and answer period, I want to remind you as to why you should choose Lakehead or why you might consider Lakehead as a serious option. Of course, as I noted, we're a smaller campus community, so that means that you'll be able to play a bigger role in smaller classroom environments. As an undergraduate student especially, you will have access to hands-on learning opportunities that you may not have access to at larger institutions. For our grad students, the same goes to you. Of course, you will naturally be able to access technologies and laboratories that are state-of-the-art and typically reserved for just faculty members even. You will be joining a very diverse community, both on and off campus, and we continue to diversify and grow that community, which is always exciting. Speaking of those communities, we're quite proud of living in both affordable and safe hometowns, and we foster really caring and friendly campuses. And right here on campus, you'll also be able to study your academic program while being surrounded by great Canadian scenery right here at Lakehead. So on that note, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you again and welcome to Lakehead University.
I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, I want to encourage you to comment below or connect with us on social media. We can be found at Lakehead International on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks for watching once again, and hopefully we'll see you at the next live webinar. Bye for now.